Hi, everybody. I am Michelle Hill, your legacy builder at Winning Proof, and I am here with another Winning Proof Unscripted. And today I have Mia LaMotte, and I am going to read, hey, Mia.
Hey.
I am going to read her bio, and then we'll just jump right into our conversation. Mia LaMotte, image consultant, transformation coach, and personal brand strategist, is passionate about helping clients understand the power of personal image, professional presence, and confident style. How you look and present yourself speaks volumes about who you are and what you want out of life. Mia and her growing team of consultants coach clients who are tired of being overlooked and feel like they are missing opportunities by helping them polish their external style and up-leveling their communication to build their internal confidence. So, hi, Mia.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
I'm so glad you're here, and I have heard you speak at the Triangle Entrepreneurial Leadership many times, and you always bring a wealth of information, knowledge, inspiration, and I am always uplifted every single time I hear you.
Well, thank you, Michelle. I appreciate that.
Yeah, well, that's true. So tell viewers a little bit about yourself and your background and how your love for fashion got birthed.
Sure. So I'm going to start with that piece, right? Because I think that'll kind of lean into the rest of it. As a child, like my mom used to sew for us. And one of the things that she would do is like, I was either matching my mom or I was matching my brother. So I never really had my own identity or my own style. But that's where the love of fashion came from. She gave me, I had my Barbie set and I used to dress them all the time. And I even had this thing called fashion plates. And I don't know if you know what those are, but well, for the audience out there, fashion plates is like the old school Pinterest, right? Where you could actually put things together and put an outfit on your little figure, right? So that's really where it started. And like I love doing that kind of stuff. But Michelle, what I found is that we can transform the outside, but it's not until we make that transformation on the inside that the outside actually catches up to us. So that's why I started doing the transformational coaching along with the image consulting.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. That makes total sense. I know you are gifted at it, and I know that is really your calling. And you had another, I don't know if you call it calling, but you had another path before the image consulting came into play. So tell me about that.
I did. So, growing up, I grew up in a small rural town in Louisiana, and a lot of people in my family on my mom's side, they didn't graduate from college, right? So I was supposed to go, I went to beauty school, dropped out. It was horrible, right? Dropped out of beauty school. So yes, beauty school dropout. And then I started babysitting for a judge in college. And when I graduated, she was like, I have an opening in our, it was like a internship or a clerkship or something like that. And I was like, yeah, plus I want to go to law school. I want to do what you're doing. And when I got there, I was like, oh, I don't know if I like this at all, right? And I ended up becoming their programs director. And long story short, I was in the judicial system for over 20 years. Like I had a career in judicial management, leadership, but also program directing for over 20 years. And I did that in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And one of the things that came to me, like this is how it happened. I went to a Tony Robbins seminar with one of my cousins who actually owns a multi-million-dollar business now. And one of the things he asked us was like, if you could have your dream job, what would it be? Right? And I had never heard it presented that way. I never even thought that whatever I wanted was possible. I thought I had to follow some path that somebody else had set out for me. And so I started doing some research and found out that what I do now is actually a job, right? And so I applied to an image consulting school and the rest is history.
That is thrilling to see a huge diversion of your expected career path. And
Yeah,
people around us sometimes have expectations. You follow this path to success, to the American dream. And that's why you see a lot of attorneys leading dog sled, expeditions in Alaska, is because, oh my gosh, no, I do not want to be weighted in paperwork for the rest of my life. So I love how you deviated from that and forged your own trail.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think for me, like my parents were still alive when I started doing the actual coaching on part-time, but they had both passed away by the time I was like, you know what? I'm quitting my job. Like I am leaving this career and starting all over again. And it was a whole lot easier because I didn't have to hear what they were going to be saying, and I didn't really have to, and not that I needed their permission.
Mhm.
There's something about that freedom to make that choice and to just go for it and not have to hear anybody say anything about it.
There is freedom in that. And I think all along the way, we still have, I don't know if you call them haters, but you still have the naysayers who say, what are you doing? Go get a real job. Or are you sure you can make a living at that? And all
Absolutely.
those things that people say along the way and keep saying. And you just, what I want to do sometimes is point to the ground and say, oh, look, there's your words. They're right there, because that's just where they landed.
Right. Yeah. But a lot of people, and even I can get influenced by what somebody says, right? So you have to really, really work on your mindset, which is something else that I decided that, you know what, when you're branding and you're working on your brand, if you're not really convicted in who you are, people can definitely change how you see yourself, right?
Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah, yeah. And I've talked to, I talked to many former NFL players, but that same thing, to your point, is that they say if you don't know who you are before you enter the NFL, you won't have a clue after you leave the NFL, because nobody, you didn't know who you were before. So knowing who you are and knowing that's what you want to do and being steadfast in that is key, don't you think?
Absolutely. It has to be unshakable, right? And like I said, your branding has to be that way too. Because I know there are a lot of people who try to brand themselves to kind of fit in some box so they can attract a certain kind of person. But I feel like we're typically our best clients. We're just on a different part of the journey, right? And when we look at it from that perspective and we look at our ideals and what we would buy, that's typically what our clients will buy too, right? And then the other piece is that you have got to be so grounded in who you are. Like in order to attract the right people, you have to repel the wrong people. So you got to piss some people off.
Excellent. I love that. Yes, yes. Because sometimes when we start out, it's like we take everybody. We want to take
Yes.
everybody. We're a generalist, as they say. And then it doesn't take long to figure out, oh, no, 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 no. I've had to fire a few clients along the way, and I've had to just say, I think another writer can serve you better. I don't think I'm the right one. And you can take it on yourself. You don't have to tell them, you suck as a client. I want you out. You could just say, I don't think I'm the right one to work for you or work with you.
Absolutely. And I think when we first get started, right, we think we need to work with everybody, or everybody is my client. Everybody should want that, but that's just so not true, right? I think that for me right now, I'm finding that people who aren't open-minded really don't do well in my program,
Yeah,
right?
you have to
You
learn.
have to be open-minded and you have to be willing to look at yourself. And a lot of people don't want to do that either. They're stuck in what it is that they want or what they think they want, and they don't want to go within to see what it is that's actually missing.
Yeah, well, absolutely. That's true. And like, why is branding so important, or personal branding and company branding so important for business people, but especially for entrepreneurs?
Well, because you're a walking billboard. That's why, like you are the brand. Even if you own a brick and mortar or another kind of company, people are going to associate you with the company. So you want to make sure that whatever it is that you're promising your client or your customer, that you're actually doing the same thing. Like I was just talking to somebody else. I was doing an interview for my own podcast, and we were talking about brand integrity. And that's exactly what it means. You can't be someone who, let's just use Coca-Cola, for example, because I want to talk about a big brand and then a person. So you can't be a big brand like Coca-Cola and not drink your own product.
Good.
Right? So you can't tell me that you don't believe in sugary drinks and not drink it. And then if you're a personal brand, if you're going to tell me that you are all about the health and wellness and I see you out drinking a soda, then there's something about that. There's a disconnect about it. And I'm going to remember that you as a health professional, you're telling me not to do a certain thing, but you're doing it too. Right? So I think that's what I mean by the brand integrity. Like you have to be able to stand up to whatever it is that you say that you can deliver and who you say you are. And
Yes.
you do that by the way you show up.
Yeah, absolutely. And isn't that all about authenticity?
That word is thrown around so much, right?
Yeah. Explain how you define it and how you help your clients define it in themselves.
Absolutely. So the first thing that we look at is like, whose context are you living out of? And a lot of us are living out of our parents' beliefs, our significant others, our children. Like some of us don't even have an original thought anymore. And what I do is I challenge people on the reasons that they think the way that they do. And is it really true? And if it's not, then we need to look at that. And that's when we get to the authentic core of who you are.
Yeah.
And I think that's so important because, our brands are going to change over time. Like you can't brand something and be done, right? It's ever evolving, just like you are as a human. But the bigger piece is that when you know who you are at your core, it's really more so little tweaks than it is getting rid of and starting over.
Yeah, it's adjusting to who you're becoming, because when you start your business, you're one person, and 5 years later, 10 years later, you are a completely different person if you've allowed yourself to evolve.
Absolutely, because being an entrepreneur is the best personal development program on the planet, right?
Yes.
There's so many ups and downs. People think it's going to be like this straight shot, but actually it's a roller coaster, and you have to be ready for the ride because you're going to be on one. And it also speaks to your character. Like you cannot quit. Like you just got to keep going. You might need to take another turn or somewhere or something like that. But knowing that it's going to be that roller coaster ride, knowing that you're going to grow into the kind of person that you want to be by doing this, that's where the authenticity comes in. Yeah,
it does for sure. And it really tests your own authenticity. Being an entrepreneur tests everything in you. I think it just tests everything. And you come out the other end a different person, a better person, really.
Yeah. And I think it also leans to like when we were talking about the clients, when you get to a point, you're like, you know what? You're really not the right person for me, and I'm not the right person for you. And it takes integrity to say that, because you don't want to hurt somebody's feelings, or you don't want people to talk about you, or whatever the case might be. Like being able to say that is emotionally mature, right?
Yes.
And we develop a maturity as entrepreneurs that, frankly, some people just never get.
Yeah. If you allow yourself the freedom to change and to develop and to evolve as an entrepreneur, that's your person. So you're changing and evolving as a person, as an individual, and that makes you better in every other area of your life too, I think.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree.
Yeah. Now, challenges. Have you had any challenges? Because the rest of us kind of go through challenges sometimes. Have you gone through any challenges at all during your journey?
Oh my God. Like there's a challenge every day. I feel like, and that's the thing about it, right? There's the little challenges like, oh, am I gonna get dressed to go on live today? And then there are the bigger challenges. I was talking to one of my clients, and she's losing, or she thinks that she might be losing a spot that she wants to get for her business. And I'm like, it's just part of the journey. And I'm not like icing over the fact that it's happening to her. But what I am saying to her is like, look, there's something better on the other side of this. And that's the whole point. Like whether it's something huge or it's something small, like we give it meaning, number one, we make it mean something. And then number two, like what's next? Okay, I'm moving on. What's the next step? What's the next right action? So absolutely have I had challenges? Hell yeah. But I also think, like speaking to what we were talking about, it makes me become the kind of person that I want to be. I don't want to be the kind of person that quits or gives up on myself. And I can only bet on me, right? I'm the only person that's going to save me, not the people in the White House, not the people, running the government. It's going to be me. And I have to keep showing up for me. And that's what this enables me to do.
Yeah, we are our own best rescuers.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what do you see entrepreneurs doing, like making the same mistakes over and over? What's the most common theme you see?
Oh, that's a great question.
Because you have to
You know
see
what? I'm
patterns.
gonna say, huh?
You have to see patterns repeat themselves.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say, I'm gonna out myself too. I'm gonna say that it's about getting started. Um, it's about putting yourself out there. It's about having the vulnerability to put yourself out there, because that's what we're mostly afraid of. We're afraid of what people are gonna say. We're afraid of the judgment, and we're also afraid that nobody's gonna want to work with us. And I think that stops us in our tracks. And once we get moving and people get to know that we're actually in business, like we're surprised at the number of folks that actually show up and want to work with us. So I think it's really important for us to get started, like get out of your own way and just get yourself, get seen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. And don't quit.
No,
Don't
absolutely.
stop. Get it. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So tell the people that are watching, the viewers, like what exactly is an image consultant as opposed to a brand strategist, and how you help your clients as both, really.
Yeah. So an image consultant is typically someone who works with a client to either work on their appearance, the way they communicate, or they teach them some etiquette tips, or even how to show up online, right? And for me, like I'm even moving away from that title, because I feel like a lot of what is taught in image as what's professional and what's appropriate has been colonized or mired in European ideals. And I don't want to be the kind of person who perpetuates that.
Okay.
So I teach rules about the science of image, like proportion and fit and color, but then I let people decide how they want to show up. So I'm different in that way. And I will also want to say that an image consultant and a stylist are two different people too. Like stylists are all about what you're wearing and what the look is.
Yeah.
And an image consultant does a little bit more than that. Okay. And then as far as brand goes, is like all of those things, all of those elements I just talked about are part of your brand, right? It's part of your brand. And then I brought in the transformational coaching to talk about the mindset. So as far as I'm concerned, I teach my clients mindset, appearance, behavior, communication, and what they do online, right? So their digital presence. And it's really about taking that, monetizing it, and getting out there. And that's how I'm working with people. And I think that's the full circle of it. And I don't know that a lot of people are doing that.
Okay, yeah, that makes total sense, because it's the whole package. And if you're not, you could have the clothes and the accessories and all that, but if your mindset isn't right, or if you're coming off as inauthentic and, you know, ting, fake, then I think people read that really, really quickly, don't they?
Absolutely. Yeah, they do. I mean, think about it. We all know when we spot somebody who's fake, right? We're like, oh, she's so fake, or he's so fake, or whatever, right? We do. And we're not even attracted to those kind of people. We're just like, okay. And we might not even know it when we're doing it, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. And I don't know, I found something on your website that I really, really liked. And I
Okay.
want to
Tell me.
read it and then ask you to kind of describe it. So
Sure.
you say, with my experience and expertise, we will create the globally authentic best version of you. What do you mean by globally authentic? I love that phrase.
Thank you. Thank you. It was something that I came up with probably, I don't know, 6 or 7 years ago. And really, it has two meanings for me. And I started asking people, like, when you hear this, what do you think about? But for me, it's about, because I have a multicultural, so I have a lot of different ethnic backgrounds in my being, and I want to be able to embrace that without being judged for it.
Yeah.
So taking all of my authenticity from around the globe, right? And being able to express that. So that's the first part of it. The second part is about, and that's for everybody, right? So nobody has just this one thing that they are, right? And then the second part is being able to travel around the globe and be authentic and still be yourself and adapt to the culture that you're in without being, like we talked about, fake. So that's how I see culturally authentic. And so I want to presence that for people, because I feel like it's super important for us to be educated about the rest of the world and being educated about other people and how they live, and not judge them for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And know how to behave correctly. There are certain customs that you follow in Japan, in China, in India, in Italy, that you have to be mindful of, because that's not how we act here. If we acted the same way, then they could be very, very offended. So it's knowing how to present your authentic self within different cultures.
Yeah, and here in America, I feel like we're a bit arrogant, right, when it comes to this kind of stuff. We expect a lot of people to be able to speak English when they come here, but we will go to another country and not speak that language.
Yes.
So I think it's definitely something that we need to be talking about. And I also think that we definitely get to respect people and their cultures a lot more than we have in the past. And that's really what globally authentic means, and how I want to kind of spread that message, through my work.
I love that. Absolutely love that. So if somebody came to you and say, maybe they had a little lack of self-confidence, maybe they're just starting their business, maybe they're not sure of their path, maybe they were a beach bum in their former life and they want to spruce themselves up and present themselves, how can you help clients that come to you in whatever stage they come to you?
Well, right now I have one signature program that I am offering to my clients. It's called Brand Disruptors. So you have to be the kind of person who is ready to kick the status quo to the curb, so to speak, and really lean into who you are. Like, be on this journey of self-discovery. And, from that, we do the discovery. We do, how are you going to monetize what we just created? And then how to market yourself. And so that's how I'm really working with my clients right now. I do have some private time that I'm using, but that's definitely more on the higher end. And it doesn't, like, I have limited time. The Brand Disruptors, it's a live coaching program. So I do show up live for you, but it's more of a group setting.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are going to that model now because you can help more people at the same
Absolutely.
time. And I think that some people may think, oh, a group, I don't want to talk about my stuff in a group. But really, it's beneficial because not only can you help them, but other group members can really help each other and support one another.
Absolutely. Like the ladies that are in there right now, they are so supportive of each other, and they attend each other's events and they promote each other's things. And you don't really get that if you're working with somebody one-on-one. They don't know anything about you, so they can't help you in that way. So I love the fact that they support each other.
Yeah, I love that too. And I love what you do. I mean, it's my goal. It's actually on my vision board over here, coaching with you someday.
Yes.
So hopefully
Yes.
sooner than later. But I do have it on my own vision board. So
I can't wait to have you.
I'm super excited about Brand Disruptors. Sounds like a wonderful group. So if people want to get in touch with you, if they see, which I can't imagine they would not, but if they really see a need, like I really need this for my business, I really need this for myself, my brand, how can they get in touch with you?
Reach out on social media. So I'm on Instagram and Facebook as Mia LaMotte Image. So that's MIALAMOTTE. Oh, it's on the screen. Image. So that's Facebook and Instagram. And just Mia LaMotte on LinkedIn and MiaLaMotte.com.
Okay, and it's MIALAMOTTE.
Yeah, no N and 2 T's. Like I was speaking to like my cultural background, like I'm mostly French. This is a French last name.
Okay, yes, and that's why I spelled it, because some people, and sometimes people don't have a great internet connection. I want to make sure they get it right so they can check out your website. She has an absolute beautiful website. It is absolutely stunning, and it's just easy to use. It's just very visually stunning. So great job on that too.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Mia. Thank you so much for being with me today and being a guest. And I think this is super helpful because there are a lot of people out there who really need your services, whether they think so or not. Even if you think you're just a fashion icon and you're the, confident Wonder Woman, there's still a next level you can go to.
Absolutely. I have an image consultant. So I have an image consultant and a coach. So everybody needs somebody to see them, because you can't really see what's in the mirror for yourself.
Yes, I love that. So thank you very much. I appreciate
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Yes, and just for people's information, you can reach Winning Proof at winningproof.com. And my email is winningproof@gmail.com. And you can always call me at 714-797-3731. And you can reach me on all the social media channels at Winning Proof. And I'm so happy to be here. So until next time, welcome, and well, not welcome, goodbye. And farewell until the next Winning Proof Unscripted.